Of all the planets in the solar system, Mars is the one that has the closest resemblance to Earth. This, coupled with the fact that it's very close to a planet, has caused scientists to study it frequently. The reason for this is that because of its characteristics similar to Earth, it is not ruled out that there may be life on Mars. Of course, this theory does not have convincing evidence to prove its veracity. But over the years, NASA has taken many photographs of Mars. In some of them, they have been able to capture images that cause concern. The same ones that show figures similar to earthly objects such as trees and animals. On some occasions, it has even come to see objects that have no explanation. Brace yourself, because right now we are about to review the strangest things that have been found on Mars in recent times. Trees and shrubs on Mars. Analyzing different photos taken on Mars, many scientists have come to the conclusion that trees can be observed in them. A series of these photos was taken by the Mars Global Surveyor, MGS, in the southern hemisphere of this planet. It was a Hungarian research team that dedicated itself to analyzing these photos. The images show sand dunes where black dots are observed that scientists presume to be living organisms. They came to that conclusion after noticing that these black spots or gray spots change in size and appearance during spring. And apparently, every year these dunes are renewed. This is how this scientist concluded that this process is very similar to a life cycle of terrestrial trees. This is how in the time of greatest heat, which on Mars translates into the spring season, these forms grow, which eventually becomes a very similar process to that observed by terrestrial vegetation. The Tower of Mars. This other photo shows a structure that scientists have called the Tower. This structure found on Mars is approximately 6.3 kilometers high. In other words, if it were truly a Martian tower, it would be much higher than any building or skyscraper on Earth. Now, this structure could simply be an optical illusion, a geological formation existing on the red planet. However, more analysis is needed to reach a definitive conclusion. Pyramids on Mars. In a photograph taken in the region called Cydonia of Mars, pyramid-like structures were found. In fact, many scientists claim that these, at first sight, have an enormous resemblance to the famous pyramids of Giza in Egypt. One of these pyramids was called DNM and has been extensively studied by scientist Mark Carlotto. According to him, it has 3 illuminated and flat faces, although its edges are very well defined in the middle. Something that strikes the researchers' attention is that at the base there is a depression that resembles an opening, where that opening seems to lead to a channel. How could something which seems to be so human be located on another planet? Alien weapon. Among the photographs taken on Mars that have been analyzed by scientists is a very particular one. It shows a figure very similar to a type of weapon, one of those here on Earth. According to the description, this object appears to be the barrel of a large weapon, such as a tank or an anti-aircraft battery. This barrel is pointing upwards, which creates a great mystery, because if it is a weapon, what does it point to? Could Mars be protected by some kind of military technology? The Martian rodent. Questions about whether there is life on Mars have been raised for many years. And a photograph captured by rover Curiosity's camera seems to have the answer. In this image, a figure very similar to a guinea pig is observed. In other words, a hairy creature with a nose, eyes, and what appears to be a front leg. Like the images mentioned above, this one has generated controversy and questions. For if it is indeed a Martian rodent, how does it feed? If it really exists, is it possible that there are other animals on Mars? These are questions that still have no answers. Our curiosity about Mars and our doubts about whether there is life on this planet will continue. However, the fact that we have these photographs and that they are still being studied is a sign that perhaps in a few years we will be able to find the answer we're looking for.